Shalom everyone, it's Kol Torah, Tuesday at 12. And today I would like to discuss with you what I will call the difference between the ideal and reality. And what do I mean by that? This parasha, Parashat Yitro, that is named after Moses' father-in-law, Jethro, is basically main focus is on the receiving of the Torah, of the Ten Commandments, the revelation at Sinai, this experience that gave the Jewish people an experience and a spiritual uplifting like no other nation. But really I would like to focus on the beginning of the Parsha. Yitro comes along with his daughter, with Tzipporah, and his grandchildren, and he brings them to Moshe. And the next day, like a good father-in-law, he goes and he sees if he can give a good advice. Obviously, it's always for free. And Jethro comes to Moshe and he says to Moshe, what are you doing? You sit there and you judge all those people. And you teach them the Torah and you teach them everything that they need to know. But you do it by yourself. You are going to be exhausted. There is no way in the world that you will be able to continue on like that. Talking about hundreds of thousands of people come and complain and have problems. It's impossible. You need to appoint ministers of thousands, of hundreds, of tens, so they will help you. And Moshe listens and really implements it. A little bit in a different way from what Yitro's first suggestion, but nevertheless he implemented it. But today I would like to ask a very simple question. It is so obvious. What was what we call in Talmudic terminology, Hava Amina? What was the first thought of Moshe? What he thought he can really go on like that day in and day out and judge everyone. He's a great leader, great scholar, capable person. But what did he think? He really thought that he can deal with those people every day with no help. It seems to be that it's just a little bit too much. So what's happened? So one explanation is really what now I think many companies and many CEOs are very big into it. It's the delegation concept. How you delegate. To whom do you delegate? And why leaders have problems to delegate? Because sometimes we just don't have capable people to rely on. Sometimes because there's just arrogancy that I need to do everything. And sometimes, you are concerned that maybe it's not going to be done the way you want it, and then you will need to go back and do it. So why to delegate power? And maybe what Yitro basically said to Moshe, look, don't think you are so powerful. You're going to be exhausted. So you need to delegate, even if you compensate a little bit. So that can be obviously one view. But I would like to add a layer or to add something else to it. Yitro and Moshe were in a way very similar in nature. And what do I mean by that? Let's take Yitro first. According to the Midrashim and according to the Talmud, Jethro was Kohen Midian, the priest of Midian. But nevertheless, he was excommunicated. Why was he excommunicated? Because he basically realized that all the idol worshippers are nothing, and he needs to worship God. And the community, the society puts a lot of pressure on him, but he resisted, and they excommunicated him. He had that ideal, he had this, what I will call his motivation, his determination, that what he thinks is right, and he will not bend, even though there are consequences. So he was excommunicated. His daughters were chased, as we know, on the well, the story on the well, that without Moshe, they would be probably beaten up. And it was a daily thing. The fact that Yitro had to find someone else, a foreigner, to marry his own daughters, it says a lot about his social setting in Midian. but he was an idealist. He believed in something, and he will not compromise. Moshe is the same thing. Moshe, in a way, very similar to his father-in-law. Moshe believes that there needs to be justice. So he goes the first day, after he grew up, he sees his brothers, and he sees an Egyptian man beating up a Jew, and what does he do? He kills the Egyptian. The second day, he sees two Jews fighting with each other, and he says, why are you doing that? And they say to him, who are you? Do you think you are the judge? Go away. So he left Egypt. He left Egypt and he went to Midian, and he saw the shepherds are trying to beat up those Yitro's daughters, and he intervened because he cannot see injustice. And even if that's injustice that he wants to intervene in order to fix will cause him personal consequences, he doesn't care. He believes so faithfully in his ideals, in his concepts, that he cannot compromise. And it's good. We need strong people. And that's the ideal life. But after 40 years, Hashem says to Moshe, go back to Egypt. Take the Jews out. And Moshe said, are you kidding me? Those people, I know them. They badmouthed me after I killed the Egyptian and I had to leave Egypt to come to Midian. You want me to go there? They have no faith. They have nothing. Come Hashem and said to him, you go. And you need to understand that your job, your mission in life is to bring ideal and reality and put them together. But it's hard for Moshe. Moshe is a strong leader who wants to have the truth and not to compromise. And here, when he is about to teach the Jewish people Torah and the laws, he says, I can't delegate it. Not because I'm arrogant, just because I'm afraid, I am concerned that those people who don't know the Torah like me will misinterpret something or misrepresent what the Torah wants them to say. And I can't take the responsibility for that. The ideal is that everyone is going to receive it from me as I heard it from God. Yitro comes to Moshe and says to him, this is great, but it's not going to work. Only individuals can hear from you, but not all of them, not all the masses. There is an ideal, that you are going to be the only teacher. But when this ideal meets reality, it's not a good mix. If you care for the people, find good people, find qualified people that you can trust and teach, and they will teach others. Yes, there is a chance that something will be a little bit diluted. Yes. But the reality sometimes dictates more than the ideal. And I think that's one of the messages also of the Torah. Sometimes we have mitzvot in the Torah that can basically gives us, describes to us, delineates to us the ideal. But then there is, dealing with realities and how we face realities that maybe are not ideal. And this is the lesson of today. Thank you.